Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. And you're looking at a pile of my created tools and not created tools. That's from a lipstick container that had moisturizer and lipstick in it. I don't remember what that was from, but basically you take a box, you cut off the open flap, you cut it back and roll it back, put a little bevel on the edge, tape the end up. Some of these you don't even need to tape because you're not putting that much paint in it. That one's an open-ended one, probably from a pen. That's another one from a double pen pack. Same thing, double pen pack, probably Sharpies. So if you don't have them in your kitchen, when we get off quarantine finally, yay, you can go to your local resale shop in the kitchen department and you can find stuff like these. And that's got more dust in it than I imagined. And that's got to get out of there because I think that's what I'm going to use. That or this. These both have flat bottoms. They're unusual, or at least I thought they were unusual until I found the second one. But these were like, I bet they have these at the dollar store. That's from my mom's kitchen from like, I don't know how many decades ago. So those are just scoops. This is a shovel. Shovel works same way everything else does. This is another carton I cut, and I could put paint in there. And as a last resort, you can always find a box without a cut end, pour your paint in, and let it rip. So there's all kinds of ways to pour out of recycled objects, and I recommend it. Now what I'm going to do today, I believe, so far anyway, is take this 20 by 20 canvas, it's black and white, and I'm going to have to cant it on the surface. First, I'm going to have to make up some paint. And this is going to make me nervous right now because I'm going to add it right in there. And if I'm too vehement, I can't force any of that paint right in there, because if I do, it'll start to turn gray. So I'm just going to try and be as gentle as possible and just go back and forth. Because what I want to do is add zebra stripes and do some tilting. And I want to have enough paint to do more than one. Whoop. Yeah, dyslexia. Or two at once. I'm afraid if I do any more than that, I may not be able to use it. So let's just go for it. Even if I put that in a regular edition, scooped it out, it would still be good stripes, I think. Let me see where I want to start. Fortunately, I can rotate all that around. I want to come back in here at some point and put little ring pours in. But I think for right now, I'm interested in as little as I can possibly add there, because as I tilt it, it will stretch out. I got a good strong breeze, so I got to be a little bit careful. Now I could actually leave this if it were the last strand, because I use GAC 800 by Golden in all of my paint. I like this technique mostly because it creates a feeling of dimension and depth. I'm going to try and stay in your view, even though it's not that easy right now because of the size of the canvas. I can't blow this around. I have to tip. As soon as I put too many tools in there, and I'm going to get gray. I do want to tip it as far as I can tip it, because the more spread out it is, the less likely I am to move it too much when I want to add the next section. So that's not a bad start. Probably a little heavier than I would want it, and if I let it go down a little further, I could probably also sort of nurse it over the edge. I could also pour some of that right off if I wanted to on my edge catcher. Got dog hairs on the bottom. So I am liking the idea of letting everything go over and letting it spread out as much as possible. It's a warm day out here, so it won't stay. It'll start to set up somewhat quickly. But you can see when I stick my finger in there that I automatically get some kind of gray color. I'm going to put a little ring pour right here. See how little I can do it. And ring pour doesn't have to stay in the shape of a ring. I think a little more white would have been good, but I'm not convinced larger areas are a better solution, so I'm going to try some smaller ones. And I do have a sheet of plastic acetate that's left over from the protective layer of a 16 by 20 inch pack of Artist Loft canvases from Michaels, and I use pieces of it to do swipes, but I also use pieces of it to catch paint. And if I get a little gray, that's probably okay with me, because at least it's a contrasting color. I want a little more, and I think I want some of this white. Actually, that's mostly black. I'm going to pour that off into the other cup, and then take my white. There we go. That's more like what I'm looking for. This might not take too long, but it might take a while. I'm really clueless at this point as to what's gonna come of this. But I don't mind fixing the fact that I didn't get the white I wanted in the first ring. And paint will flow to paint, and as soon as you have any heft, any depth of paint at all, then you have a flowing mass, and you can make it more easily go where you want it to go. So neither of those things is bothering me so far. I'm just going to keep looking for places that I really feel like I kind of want to go nuts a little bit. I want more white than I've got there, so I'm going to put a little bit at the front, so I get I kind of wanted to go in the opposite direction. And sometimes if you make random patterns, you have just as much, if not more luck with getting the interesting shapes that I'm looking for to flow where I want them to go. And I'm really not minding having them go over the edge. I'm not sure I want to get rid of all that white right here. But as soon as I have that mass, yeah, I did. I just prevented that from going over. See how gray that goes immediately. So I don't actually mind when I get those droplets. I'm liking this a lot better already. So I want, what do I want? I want not to get rid of those cells. And I like a lot of what's left behind, so I'm going to take a chance and just pour it in a more abstract way. Because I tipped that other paint, not that much of it is going to flow. I wish I could tell you I had an exact formula how to think it out. And some things I do, but not many. I'm working on it. That's running nicely. Just where I would want it if I wanted it to. My muse is in charge of paint drips. I'm just sort of leading the front edge of that with my skewer. Same over here. And I'm swallowing a few of those cells that I liked. And I kind of have to do this a little quickly because, in my opinion, the longer I wait, the more likely the black and the white are to start making gray. And I don't know why that is or if that's even true. This one I'm going to try and ring pour because I can. Hey, that's the name of my first book on the Amazon link. Under the video, click show more and it will take you to my Amazon link, the first blue link. And that's where you will find all kinds of tools and cool stuff, paints, even a camera and a tent, tripods, hardware, D-rings for making your paintings viable. I am going to be doing as much recycling of canvases as I can because I've painted a lot of paintings in 2 years and I'm just about to have my 2nd year anniversary. And I painted for a whole year before I ever made a video. That was on purpose. I don't mind those drips. Kind of don't need them dripping down onto the tile though. And I like that. I just want more of that. And I have black in the bottom here. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a combination to come out. And I can, especially if it's quick. And I like the different versions of the black and white together because it changes it up as there's a variation on the heft of the black and the white in the pour containers. And I don't think I'm going to make as much gray with mostly white, although that's probably not true at all. And I could actually dip my skewer into something and lead some paint right over the edge to have a sort of a follow through with that pattern. I don't know if you can see that or not. Now I thought about putting gold in here, and I kind of wanted to experiment with doing some gold and some black. I think I was going to go from here down, but I think I want to go from here there. And I want a little tiny strand, a little tiny ribbon. And like I said, at any given point in time, if I decide I'm done and some paint is heavy, that's okay, because that GAC 800 by Golden prevents the heavy paint from cracking. You can find my paint pouring recipe underneath the video. And I'm not minding how some of these things are spreading at all. In fact, I might encourage some of that to happen. Right this way. Come this way. And once you have a little bit of layer of paint on the canvas, even if it's that gray color, the other colors will swallow it up. They'll slide right over the top of it. So that's cool, but I'm still feeling something. I could ribbon pour in here and leave it at the end, and I think I might want to do that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to squeeze a little more paint into the residuals that are in here. And make a little more texture, add something similar to what's already there. And I don't know how far that'll spread when I tip again, because I do intend on tipping again. I want something here. That doesn't need to be there, but it doesn't matter that it is. Looks like I could use a whole lot more paint. And I don't find any problem at all just adding it. Because every time you loop it over, you get layers aren't as important as just adding the black paint to your container, because when you pour it out quickly, it doesn't have as much of a chance to become overly mixed. And you get some really cool patterns. I don't see a lot of things moving tremendously here. I'm still tempted by the gold, but if I did the gold, it might have to be tomorrow. And this was already a video a long time ago, and that was pretty cool. But it's been sitting around telling me that it's not finished for a long time. So I guess I just decided to listen. And I like the zebra pours, for sure. And the last thing I was talking about was putting something here, but I want some black in there. And I think I'm just going to give it to myself. With a long strand. And maybe just go a couple places. It's getting kind of busy, but like I said, I could put some gold in here tomorrow. I can do the same thing with the white that I did with black. Just add something. I know I can also add some white into the black and use a skewer just ever so cautiously. Yeah, I look cautious, don't I? And add a little bit of something. And if you don't want your squeeze bottle line to be too perfect, or you want it to be more organic, I should say, a skewer is the perfect tool. It's a pretty warm day out here. I'm trying to think and see what I want to do, and I kind of want to. I want to take a chance and put some dots up at the top here and let them all run together. And of course I'm taking a huge chance at the same time that everything else is going to run. But when I look at it, I'm not like horrified or anything at what I'm seeing run. It's going to make a little more texture. And I could leave that, and that might be kind of cool. Of course, it's not going to stay when I tip, so I might as well run my skewer through it right now. Because I can. Hey, this name is my second book, right next to the first book. When you open Show More underneath the video is Unlimited Possibilities. So I have paint in my cups, and it's time for me to decide what comes next. And I don't think either one of those was superior to the other one. And I don't have too much, an awful lot of gray. But I will resolve that issue. And I'm going to put some more black and some Floetrol from the wrong bottle of white. Well, that'll be interesting. There's an experiment. Let's just add some Floetrol right in the middle of your rings. I also kind of want to drag my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula, also on the Amazon link, through. I have a crib sheet here, and I need to tell you guys, if you want to help me out, you can help me out by watching longer. Now I am thinking, yeah, it's a lot more runny because of that Floetrol in there. I got 2 minutes left to talk to you, and then there'll be another minute still. That's how I set my timer. My camera shuts off at 20 minutes, so I set a timer for 17, so I have a chance to talk to you guys. I do sell my artwork. When there aren't things that keeping us in quarantine and lockdown, I do give classes at the house in Spring Hill, Florida. I have Teespring clothing that has my designs on it underneath the video. Oliver print leggings and Oliver print t-shirts. Should you wish to see other work that I've done, there's a website on the end screens. I believe it is the bottom right hand corner. You can also find the monthly drawing. I'm sorry, I was out of view. You can also find the monthly drawing there, and there's 5 paintings up for grabs. Whoever's name is drawn gets to pick one, and the minimum donation is $10. And if you donate to the studio through PayPal or Patreon, the icons are on the channel header, and also the links are underneath the video, and I will send you a receipt that shows you what the prizes are also. So this is still pretty cool, but I'm kind of thinking tomorrow would be good for gold. And I bet that would be cool, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. I might decide I'm in love with it tomorrow. We'll see. It's not too different with the black and white from wet to dry, except for the shininess. But there's a lot more depth in here, and it's a pretty busy piece, but at least it's all black and white. If it was colorful, it would be difficult. I don't mind. I think there's plenty of balance in here now. And what did I do with that crib sheet I was just reading you? Oh, check my playlists for 1,310 videos. My email address is under the video for anybody interested in purchasing an artwork. My paint pouring recipe is under the video. Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter links are under the video. If you share my videos, you help me out. If you watch my videos longer, it's a big help. It's the only thing that the YouTube algorithm understands. And if when you first check it out, anyway, if a lot of people watch your video at the beginning of it, it helps the placement of it. I told you my books. Please share my videos if you're of a mind. Binge watch if you're of a mind. If you are interested in Facebook groups, Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Appreciation Group is for students, and you can find tomorrow's video listed there. And Expressionist Art Studio Gallery fans and collectors is for anybody who is interested to see what I have bothered to edit or have been able to edit since I started posting my videos in albums there. Not my videos, posting my photographs of my YouTube artworks. Excuse me for getting confused. Anyway, I love you guys. I really do. Thank you all for the contributions that have kept me painting all this time. And thank you so much for your wonderful comments that keep my morale boosted while things are weird at YouTube. I'm still thinking that that it might be interesting to play with gold, but I kind of like it too. And I could put a few